Let's learn how to simplify some powers. So what is a power? A power has two parts. It has a base, the 2, and an exponent, the 5. So the overall term right there is what we call a power. You have a base and an exponent, a big number on bottom, a small number up on top above it. So right here we have 3 different types of powers, and I'm going to teach you how to simplify them using the exponent the proper way. By now, hopefully you understand that an exponent, such as 5, is telling you to take that base number of 2 and multiply it by itself 5 times. So if I were to write that out, 2 to the 5th power really just means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Right now I have 5 2's laid out. If I'm going to simplify this base number of 2, which is just a whole number, nothing too tricky, all we're going to do is multiply each one of these out. Now I'm going to get 2 times 2, which is going to give me a 4, multiplying it by another 4, and then that last 2 gets brought down. I can continue on with this tree diagram going down. 4 times 4 gives me a 16 times this 2, and then my last and final step, 16 times 2, which is going to give me a grand total of 32. So if I were to simplify 2 to the 5th power, my end result is 32. You then move on to a step that's a little bit trickier where you have a fraction as a base. So your base number now is 3/7. It's no longer a whole number like 2. Well, what that means is that 3 is going to go to the top and the bottom, numerator and denominator of the fraction. So now what we're truly dealing with is what is 3 to the 3rd power over whatever 7 to the 3rd power is. So again, 3 to the 3rd power means 3 times 3 times 3, 3 times, and 7 times itself 3 times as well. When you take 3 and multiply it by itself 3 times, you get a 9 first, and then multiply it by 3 to get 27. And then 7 times itself gives you a 49. 49 times 3 is then going to give you, times 7 is then going to give you 343. So your end result here with this one is going to be top gets the exponent, bottom gets the exponent, for a grand total of 27 over 343. And then we move on to a decimal. 1/2 or 0.5 or 5/10, however you want to say this decimal, okay, to the 4th power. So what that means is 0.5 times 0.5 times 0.5 times 0.5. Each one of these is 1 decimal space over. It's in the tenths, 5/10. Okay, so that means when you multiply it out 4 times, you're going to have to move that decimal space 4 spaces. Okay, I like to treat these as 5s. Ignore the fact that there were even decimals there. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. I'm going to end up getting 25 times 25, which gives me a grand total of 625. But again, remember we had to move that decimal 1, 2, 3, 4 places. So if I'm talking 625, my decimal's right here. Move back 1, 2, 3, and an extra 1 for 4. In between there is going to be a 0. This is how you simplify your powers. A number of different ways to do it. Very easy when it's a whole number. Not as easy when you're dealing with fractions or decimals, but also not that much different. Good luck on your upcoming tests. Study hard. You will do great.